Beyond 2040, and welcome to a very special edition of the Progressive Rock and Metal album review series. And today I'm going to be taking a look at the amazing and incredible catalogue from one of the finest bands to ever come onto the progressive rock scene, and one of the best bands to ever come out of Canada in the last 40 plus years. And they are still going very strong to this day as we speak. And this band has put out some unbelievable music. And I've seen this band live a number of times. And for my money, they are one of the best live bands I've ever seen. And I've been a huge fan of this band for a really long time now, and they are one of my all-time favorites. And this is a band that I have been wanting to talk about on this series for a really long time now, and I am super excited to be discussing this band's incredible catalogue. And if you're a fan of Enchant, Saga, Rush, or Yes, then you've come to the right place because this band embodies all of those bands, but still sound very much like their own original thing with their own unique voice. And I would highly recommend this band to anyone who is a fan of those bands. And the band that I am talking about needs no introduction whatsoever. I am talking about, of course, the one and only Canadian progressive rock band, Mystery, and this is part two of a two-part special where I am going to be discussing Mystery's entire catalogue. And this is a follow-up to the last one that I did where I discussed all of Mystery's studio albums. And for today's special edition, which is part two, I am going to be discussing all of Mystery's official live albums. So, as I said already, I have seen Mystery live a number of times, and for my money, they are one of the best live bands I have ever seen. And as impressive as Mystery are in the studio, and trust me when I tell you, they are fantastic. And I've said this about a lot of bands, and the same applies to Mystery as well. In my honest opinion, I think Mystery sound even better live. And I've seen Mystery live 3 times, and they were some of the best shows I've ever seen. Mystery, when they play live, there's something special and magical about going to a Mystery concert. They not only put it all out there, including the kitchen sink, but they really play their guts out and they really go out of their way to put on the best live show possible. And some of my favorite Mystery songs are the live versions because, I feel that with some of Mystery's best material, they really stretch their music live, with lots of extended solos, lots of massive instrumental sections, you name it. This band do it all and do it all very well. And there are very few bands, as far as recent years are concerned, that can touch or match Mystery. And it's funny because I said earlier that Mystery are one of the best bands to ever come out of Canada. And when you look at Canada, they have had some incredible bands come out of their country. Obviously, it goes without saying, Rush are probably the greatest band ever to come out of Canada, and certainly the most iconic. We've had other great bands from Canada like Triumph, Max Webster, Heart, probably up there with Rush as one of the greatest bands ever. We've had other great bands like Saga, Enchant, so many great Canadian bands that have come out of Canada. But I would say Mystery are right up there at the top with those guys. They are just so good, and they've been a favorite of mine for a really long time now. And, anybody who hasn't seen Mystery live, go and check them out. Go and see them. You won't be disappointed. if you like progressive rock, or if you're a fan of Saga, Enchant, Rush, or Yes, definitely go and see Mystery live, because they not only take all of the influences of those great bands, but they make it their own, and they're just fantastic. They really are. They are just an amazing band, in my honest opinion. And some of my favorite Mystery albums are the live ones. And as I mentioned already, as great as Mystery are in the studio, and they are fantastic, in my honest opinion, I think Mystery sound even better live. And when you listen to some of the live albums, it's an incredible listening experience. And at times, you almost feel like you're there watching the band in person and up close, because they have just got an unbelievable sound. And listening to some of their live albums, it really takes you on an amazing ride, and it doesn't let up. It's just a fantastic moment. And if you've witnessed Mystery live and in person, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They put in so much power and energy into their live shows, and that for me makes them one of the best live bands ever. As I said, they put everything out there, including the kitchen sink, and they never disappoint once. They always give you your money's worth. So, for today's special edition, which is the second and final part of this two-part special, I am going to be discussing Mystery's official live albums, which is a total of four live recordings, which is quite surprising when you think about it, especially for all the years that Mystery have been around. And they've only got four live albums to show. I would have thought, for a band who's been around as long as Mystery, I could have swore there was more than four. But the very fact that we've got four is an amazing feat in itself, because some of the best bands out there have never even put out one live album. So I'm really pleased that we've got four excellent Mystery live albums. And as always, I'm going to be talking about each live album individually, and I'll be choosing which one I think is the best one. This is not easy, because all four of these Mystery live albums are excellent. There might be one or two which are a little bit better than others, but they are so good, and you can't go wrong with any of them. Any of these Mystery live albums could be a number one or an all-time favorite. They're all good. They all sound excellent. The production is top notch, and it really is a real showcase for how much Mystery have evolved as a band from their first live album to their last live album that they put out. And as I said, as great as the music sounds in the studio, they sound even better live. So we're going to start with the first live album, and this one came out in 2014, and it's a double album, and this one is called Tales from the Neverlands. Now, Tales from the Neverlands is, of course, Mystery's first live album, and it's a very good one. It's a fantastic live album, and sadly, this is the only live album to feature Benoit David. Now, Benoit David had been Mystery's vocalist for a lot of years, and just when they finally put out their first live album with him, he leaves, which is a shame, really, because as I said before in part one, all due respect to the previous Mystery vocalists and their current singer, Jean Pajou, Benoit David was an excellent singer. He really was. And even though this is the only live album they released with him, it's really good. He has got so much energy, he brings so much power into his vocals. He's got a very charismatic presence, and it's really showcased on the entire double live album. And what I've always loved about Tales from the Neverlands is, in the middle of this double live album, they put all of their epic songs together and play them one after another. And it's almost like, in a way, for me anyway, like it's their best of. If someone said to me, put together a mystery live album featuring their best songs, I guarantee you I would choose all of them one after another. And I don't know if this was their intention, maybe it was sequenced that way, maybe it was paced that way, who knows? But whoever did that, excellent job, because each of my favorite mystery songs are all played consecutively, one after another. And it's not like they're spread out over the course of different parts of the live album. They're all one after another. And I like that. I really do. And this is the one that I go back to listening to the most because it's really enjoyable. So let's have a quick look, shall we? Okay, so there we are. There's all the tracks on each disc, and there's all their studio albums up to that point. There's all various shots of the band playing live. There's Benoit, brilliant singer. The man behind the mystery himself, c'est Pierre. There's DePaul, brilliant keyboard player. There's more cool shots of the band. And there's Frankos, for my money, Mystery's main bass player, as far as I'm concerned. And Sylvain, brilliant guitar player too. And Jean Sebastian, terrific drummer. And there's more great shots of the band in concert. And there's all the tracks on both discs. And there's all the production notes and credits as well. Brilliant stuff here, in my opinion. Absolutely brilliant. So on disc one, we've got the first track, which is Unveil the Mystery, which is more or less like a little intro. And then we go straight into As I Am, which is a great opener. Then we got the gorgeous and haunting Dear Someone, one of my favourite songs. Then we've got Sailing on a Wing, which is excellent, and one of the best mystery songs ever, Wolf, which is just tremendous. And then we've got Another Day, which is great. And then over onto disc two, we've got Pride, which is just unbelievable, one of the best mystery songs ever. And then we got the 22-minute epic Through Different Eyes, which is probably my all-time favorite mystery song. Absolutely love it, and it just sounds even better live. And then we got Time Goes By, which is great. Travel to the Night is excellent, and The Priest great. And then we got an excellent closer, Between Love and Hate. So just a great collection of songs performed live. And as I said, if someone asked me to put together a best of mystery album with live versions, I'd probably choose all these songs because all of my favorite mystery songs are on this one and doesn't get any better than that. And this is the one that I go to the most every time. So the standouts for me on disc one are As I Am, Dear Someone, Wolf, and Another Day. And the standouts for me on disc two are Pride, Through Different Eyes, Travel to the Night, and Between Love and Hate, and Time Goes By. But start to finish, top to bottom, an excellent live album. Sadly, the only one with Benoit David, but my goodness, what a good one we got with him. And just a perfect showcase for mystery at the top of their game with Benoit David. Doesn't get any better than that. So there you have it. Tales from the Neverlands. Without a doubt, for my money, the best mystery live album ever, in my opinion. Absolutely love this one. So we move on to the next live album, and this one came out in 2017, and it's a double album, and this one is called Second Home. So this mystery live album marked the first appearance of new vocalist Jean Verjeux, who replaced Benoit David. And as you'd expect from Mystery, this is an excellent double live album that features mostly material from Delusion Rain, and it also features some of Mystery's most well known songs from some of their more older albums. And considering that this is Jean Verjeux's first live album appearance with Mystery, he sings and plays like he's been playing with the band for years. He is an unbelievable singer, a very super talented multi instrumentalist, plays keyboards, plays flutes, he plays a number of different instruments. He is the whole package and he has a huge presence on this album. And all due respect to Benoit David, who is my favorite mystery singer, Jean Pageur does an excellent job covering all of the Benoit David material, and he sings superbly on his own material from Delusion Rain. He is the whole package, and he has been Mystery's main singer now already for 10 years, which is unbelievable. And it just shows you how time flies by so fast. He feels like he only just joined the band yesterday. I remember going to see Mystery, and I saw one of his first gigs with the band, and he was great. And he has really come into his own as a singer and as a musician, and he fits in so well with Mystery. And he pretty much is Mystery's main guy, as far as I'm concerned. So let's have a quick look, shall we? I love that. I love that. I love the artwork here. So there's all the tracks. There's Jean Pageur. Some excellent photos of the gig. And there's some behind the scenes. He is a very charismatic singer, as far as I'm concerned. And there is the man behind the mystery himself. Some more cool stuff there. Great shot of the band. Excellent bass player, just amazing bass player. Oh, great guitar player as well. He's brilliant. Oh yeah, great stuff there. There's some more cool shots of the gig. There's all the production notes and who plays what. And another cool shot of the band and all the tracks as well, spread out on 2 discs. So as I said already, a lot of the material that's featured on Second Home is mostly from Delusion Rain, and there's also tracks from some of their older stuff. And Second Home features 3 bonus tracks as well, so that's a nice treat. So on disc 1 we got Delusion Rain, which is an excellent opener for a mystery gig. Travel to the Night is great. If You See Her is excellent. Another Day is great. Wall Street King is great. Pride, what more can you say? Such a kick-ass song, you know, absolutely love it. The Last Glass of Wine is great. The haunting and beautiful Dear Someone, another favourite mystery song of mine. And then on disc 2 we got Shadow of the Lake, which is great. A Song for You is brilliant. Through Different Eyes, as I've said already, my all-time favourite mystery track. The Preacher's Fall, which is great. And then the 3 bonus tracks we've got are Superstar, which is excellent. Till the Truth Comes Out is great. And The Sailor and the Mermaid. Tremendous stuff. So the standouts for me on disc 1 are Delusion Rain, Another Day, Pride, and Dear Someone. And the standouts for me on disc two are Through Different Eyes, The Preacher's Fall, Till the Truth Comes Out, and The Sailor and the Mermaid. Excellent double live album and a great showcase for Jean Pageur, who sings and plays like he's been with the band for years, which now he really has. And he's on top form, as are all of the Mystery members, and the entire band itself are just excellent. So there you have it. Second Home, excellent Mystery live album, and a great first appearance for new singer Jean Pageur. Excellent stuff. Love it. So we move on to the next live album, and this one came out in 2019, and it's a double album, and this one is called Live in Poznan. So Live in Poznan is the third Mystery live album, and it's the second one to feature Jean Pageur, who by this point has now been in the band for quite a few years. And a lot of the material that's featured on Live in Poznan is mostly from Lies and Butterflies, and it also features lots of Mystery's older songs and some of their most well-known ones as well. So let's have a quick look, shall we? It's a very chilling album cover. So there's the guys in action. Some awesome shots here of the band. Love that. Love how Pierre and Pageur are just ripping it up on guitar and keytar as well. Excellent photography. Absolutely brilliant. And Jean Pageur embracing the theatricality. The man behind the mystery, ripping it up. He's a fantastic guitar player. That's a cool shot of the band. Love that. Nice. And the big man on the bass. Love it. The muscle of mystery. And the sounds of mystery. Pun intended. That's a great shot of the band. Love that. And there's all the production notes, all the tour dates, and all the musicians who play on the live album. Excellent stuff. So, on disc one, we've got Delusion Rain, which I think by this point, going by these live albums, it's kind of become like their opener now, which is really cool. It's a really good opener. Come to Me is great. How Do You Feel is great. Something to Believe in is excellent. Pride, what more can you say? One of the best mystery songs ever. This one is a lot more shorter. The full-length version is about over 11 minutes long. This version is like just under 7 minutes, but still absolutely rocks. The Scarlet Eye, excellent song. The Willow Tree is brilliant. The Sailor and the Mermaid, excellent track. Shadow of the Lake is a great track as well. And then on disc two, we've got Looking for Something Else, which is brilliant. Dare to Dream is great. Where Dreams Come Alive is excellent. A Song for You, tremendous. And of course, my favourite mystery song of all time, Through Different Eyes, which is just a tremendous song. Absolutely love it. Chrysalis is excellent, and The Preacher's Fall is brilliant as well. And the standouts for me on disc one are Delusion Rain, The Willow Tree, The Sailor and the Mermaid, and Shadow of the Lake. And the standouts for me on disc two are Looking for Something Else, A Song for You, Chrysalis, and my all-time favourite, Through Different Eyes. Doesn't get any better than that, but excellent choice of songs. Nice mixture of new material from Lies and Butterflies and great selection of older songs. So there you have it, live in Poznan. Brilliant live album from Mystery, who always deliver the goods. Excellent stuff. So we move on to the next one, and this one came out in 2020, and this one is called Caught in the Whirlwind of Time. So a lot of the material that's featured on this one is mostly songs from Lies and Butterflies, and also lots of older stuff and some of the band's most well-known stuff. So let's have a quick look, shall we? So there's all the sleeve notes, some cool shots of the band, and some more great shots here. That's a good picture. All of the guys just ripping it up together. I love that. Some great stuff there as well. And some more cool shots of the guys. And I love this picture. You know, Sepierre and Peugeot just ripping it up on guitar and keytar. Just excellent stuff. Absolutely excellent. So we've got the opener, Looking for Something Else, which is excellent. The Scarlet Eye is great. Come to Me is great. The Willow Tree is epic. How Do You Feel is great. Shadow of the Lake is great. Delusion Rain, which is one of Mystery's most memorable songs, and it's become one of their signature live tracks. Dare to Dream is great. Where Dreams Come Alive is great. The Sailor and the Mermaid is great. Wall Street King is great. Pride. What more can you say, really? Enough said. Again, a more shorter version than the original, but always a nice treat to hear it. Never get tired of hearing Pride. Something to Believe in is excellent. Travel to the Night is epic. A Song for You is excellent. And Cryosalis is great. And The Preacher's Fall. Surprisingly, no Through Different Eyes. Shame, really. It's my favourite Mystery song, and pretty much all of the other Mystery live albums have always featured that song. So I'm a little bit surprised it's not on this one, but oh well, I suppose they wanted to mix things up, but shame really because it's my all-time favourite Mystery song. So I'm a little bit bummed out it's not featured on here, but there's still a lot of great Mystery material, so I guess you can't play everything. So standouts for me are Looking for Something Else, The Willow Tree, Shadow of the Lake, Delusion Rain, Pride, Something to Believe in, The Sailor and the Mermaid, Travel to the Night, A Song for You, and Cryosalis. But great selection of songs, bit of old, bit of new, and what more can you ask for? Mystery always put out a great live show, and they always deliver top-notch material. So there you have it. Caught in the Whirlwind of Time. Excellent live recording, tremendous Blu-ray. The CD Blu-ray set is not an easy one to get, but still definitely worth getting the Blu-ray itself if you want to hear and see these guys play their stuff live. So you can't go wrong either way, really. So there you have it. Caught in the Whirlwind of Time. Excellent stuff and very enjoyable in my opinion. Absolutely love this one. So, which Mystery Live album do I think is the best one? Well, you've only got four to choose from. They're all excellent, they're all different, and they're very enjoyable. Any of these live albums could be a number one or an all time favourite, and there's no bad ones here whatsoever. But if I had to choose one, which I would consider to be the best Mystery Live album and my all time favourite, I'm definitely going with Tales from the Neverlands. It's got most of my favourite Mystery songs spread out on two discs, It's the first and only live album appearance to feature Benoit David, so that makes it a little bit more special for me. And I just love it. I just think this is a fantastic live album, and it really showcases Mystery at their peak. All of the other live albums are great, but for me, this is a very special one, and it's just absolutely enjoyable. You know, it's got a lot of my favorite songs, such as Wolf, Dear Someone, Another Day, Pride, and of course, Through Different Eyes. For me, when you've got all of those epics together, played after one another, doesn't get any better than that. So there you have it. Tales from the Neverlands, for my money, the best mystery live album ever, and my all-time favourite live album from these guys. Absolutely love this one so much and very enjoyable. So there you have it. Tales from the Neverlands. Excellent stuff. Love it. So that's going to be it from me. I'm going to wrap this up now. What's your favourite mystery live album? Is it Tales from the Neverlands, Second Home, Live in Poznan, or Caught in the Whirlwind of Time? There's no right or wrong answer. We all have our favourite live albums. You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Progressive Rock and Metal Album Review series. So until then, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening.